Hello! Welcome back to Season 2 of the Grammar Grapevine. I'm your host, Chelsea Cox, and this is your go-to podcast for staying updated, meeting new faces, and hearing their stories from the Hunter Valley Grammar School community. This week, we're joined by HVGS alumni, Isabella McGavin, and we dive deep into her hilarious stories from high school and her plans to conquer the world through her social media and music career. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Wanneroo people, and pay respects to elders past and present. Their traditions of storytelling and knowledge sharing continue to inspire and enrich our school community. Welcome to the podcast, Belle, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to tell us a bit about your 5-year-old self?
Oh my goodness, yes. Okay, so I started acting when I was like late 4, early 5, so very dramatic, musical, creative kid. Very out there, very loud, loved music. Oh, and I was dancing too.
Dancing? What was your favourite style back then?
Oh, maybe a little bit of jazz.
Jazz? Gotta love some jazz.
A bit of jazz.
And what was primary school like?
Oh, primary wasn't great for me, to be honest. I did a lot of creative stuff out of school, but I was picked on a bit at school. So that was my primary experience. I was bullied a lot, but put some hairs on my chest. It helped me realise how much being a good person and being kind is so important.
And you then made the decision to come to HVGS in Year 7.
I was petrified. I remember saying to Mum on the first day of Year 7, I'm like, I feel sick, I'm not going. Not going, because all of my friends were going to a different high school, and I had no one here that I knew. Transition week was actually really, really good though, slay transition week. Loved transition week so much because I was able to meet some people. But I did not want to come here at all because I knew no one really. And then after the first week, I'm like, I love this school so much. The music faculty, the drama faculty, everything. It was incredible. My world was turned upside down. I did a lot of co-curricular. I was learning saxophone, guitar, singing. I was doing drama groups. I was doing all of the productions. I was doing every single music thing I could get my hands on. Not a lot of sport. That's
okay.
But lots of creative stuff. And I just loved all the opportunities I could get my hands on. Every performance opportunity, I just was there. It was awesome. I feel like that was such a massive part of my high school experience here. And then I also did some overseas trips with the school too, which was the best thing ever.
Where did you go for those trips?
Went to Vietnam. And did the building the houses service trip. Did the Europe trip where we did I think it was a week or 2 exchange over at our sister school in Germany. And then I did the Rhapsody Rotorua trip to New Zealand with the music faculty.
We heard, we didn't hear, we know that you were Sandy in HVGS's iconic Grease musical, and that still gets kudos today. Do you want to tell us a bit about your time as the lead role in one of HVGS's most iconic musicals to the day?
Nothing's bigger than Grease. Nothing is bigger than Grease. We still say that. It was the best show ever. It was so much fun. I had so many beautiful friends that were working on Grease with me, and it was just the best thing because I got to bond with so many other people in different year groups. It was just such a cool experience. I felt like it bonded so much of the school, and I loved it. It was just the most fun ever. It was so many rehearsals and so many Sunday rehearsals and so much time behind the scenes, but it was the most fun thing ever. It was awesome.
Okay, what would be the 3 main takeaways you had from being a part of the drama community and being in the musicals?
Learning the power of being in a team. I was always a big solo player, big on singing by myself or performing by myself, and learning how amazing it is when a whole team have a shared goal, how incredible that can be, and the result from that was massive. One of the biggest things that I learned during, in particular, Grease, is learning to just be fully comfortable, fully let loose on stage. You look sillier if you don't give it your all, than if you were to just stand back sort of
in the corner.
Yeah. Not giving it, that was a big thing for me, is I always just sort of wanted to look cool, and I realised during Grace it's that's gone out the window. You just got to give it your all, and who cares if you look dumb? You look better if you give it your all. That was a massive thing.
And people will probably respect you more.
Yeah.
For actually trying.
Giving it a go.
Yeah.
And I guess how much hard work pays off remembering your lines, rehearsals. It really does pay off when you give it your all.
Who would you say were your main support teachers or support systems during the musical?
Definitely the music and drama faculty here. Mrs. White, she was absolutely incredible. Mr. Gidney was a massive role model for me during school, and also Mrs. Laundon too. Yeah, they were probably like three of the biggest, yeah.
What would you say was your most challenging part of high school?
I reckon, and I don't think it had much to do with the school. If anything, I think the school actually helped massively with it. But learning to just be comfortable in myself and being confident showing up fully as I am, even though that might not have been someone in the cool group or someone in the popular group or someone that played a heap of sport. Learning to fully show up as myself and recognising that that was enough and that that was okay, and that had its own strengths. That was probably my biggest thing, is just fully being comfortable in showing up as I was.
Big news, HVGS! The Grammar Grapevine is going live at the 2025 HVGS Community Picnic. We'll have our very own booth set up, ready to interview you, students, parents, alumni, and anyone else who wants to join the fun. Mark your calendars for Friday, February 7th from 5 to 8 p.m. on the Rugby Oval. Come for the vibes, stay for the spotlight, and don't miss out. RSVP now, and let's make this a night to remember. See you there! Moving on to after high school, because you graduated from HVGS in 2019, right before COVID.
Oh my gosh, how lucky.
Do you want to talk a bit about what you were up to right after high school during that COVID time?
Yeah, just before I graduated high school, actually it might have been, it was before the HSC, I found out I was accepted into a college in New York to do musical theatre, and then that was pretty much just like, that was the prize the whole entire time of year 12. So I was just so focused on that. Didn't really try at all in the HSC, if I'm honest. And then I graduated, and then COVID hit and I couldn't go overseas. The fees just got like incredibly expensive, and it was a bit too much of a gamble going like, oh, I'm going to travel across to the other side of the world without knowing when I'll be able to come home. So we pulled the pin on going to college in New York, and I was just like devastated. Spent pretty much that whole year working and saving money, just trying to work out what I was going to do with my life while everyone else is in lockdown. And I just could not, I had to get out of Newcastle. I was just in my head like, I need to get out of Newcastle, I need to get out of Maitland, I need to go and do something else. So I moved to Sydney in the October of that year of 2020, which was awesome. And I went down there and I just worked casually, moved in with a friend, and I had intentions to start uni. I did one semester of uni that following year and hated it. So I dropped out of uni and I basically just became a full-time musician, which was just gigging every single weekend, and I did occasional work in restaurants and stuff like that. And I was in Sydney for 3 years and just doing heaps of music, started picking up some social media stuff too. That was pretty much it, and that's sort of led me to here.
For some people listening, they might be thinking, oh, I would love to start my own music career. What would maybe be your top 2 tips on how to get started?
I would say putting yourself out there in terms of email every venue you know does live music, and if they don't, email them anyways. Send them a video of you singing, and if they don't reply, email again, and then email again, and then go in person, and just, in the best way I can put it, put yourself out there until they can't say no any longer. That was the biggest thing for me that got me the most amount of work, is just like, and I think it goes for anything, it's not just music, it's just like, if you want something, don't give up annoy them until they have to say yes. Put yourself out there, email, message, go in, and just do it. I think the biggest thing is people are so worried about, oh, what if I don't do it right? I don't know where to start. It's like, just start by doing something. Start busking, start gigging, start singing on the side of the street, go to an open mic night, go to a karaoke night, message some other local musicians on your Instagram. Just put yourself out there. That's one of the biggest things for me. And practice. Practice your craft. Put in your 10,000 hours. I don't know who came up with that saying, but
it's a good one.
It's a quote where it's like, you put in your 10,000 hours into anything and you'll get the result.
And you mentioned busking, and we heard you started busking at a very young age.
Yes.
Like 12?
Yeah, like 11 and 12.
Yeah.
I had like literally a $30 nylon string, which is just like a plastic string guitar. My local like suburb was Toronto. So I was on the side of the road at Toronto, out the front of the news agency, and I literally had like this little IKEA bucket, like it was like a storage bucket, and And I literally put it out the front of me and I'd use my little phone with my guitar, like lyrics and chords. And I'd go for 1 hour every weekend and I would just sing for an hour.
Sing your guts out.
Sing my guts out every Saturday, every Sunday.
Is it sing your heart out?
Yes, sing your heart out. But
sing your heart out. Sing your guts out,
darling. But no, basking was awesome. It got me so much, got me so used to being ignored, which sounds awful, but it's so nice to practice without having people staring at you while also getting performance experience.
And having people there.
Yeah, and it humbles you having people ignore you and also not listen to you and not compliment you. I think it's good to be humbled a little bit.
Character building.
Character building.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking at now, what are you up to? We've heard a bit about gigging, some social media stuff.
Yes. Well, at the moment I'm working at Treetops at Hunter Valley Grammar. Love that. I work there 4 to 5 days a week, which is so much fun. And I'm really hustling in my influencer era.
Yes.
I'm getting some social media work at the moment, you brand deals and things like that.
I saw a sports girl one.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Really, really cool. So that's my little goal at the moment is to mix my music in with, I would love, and for lack of a better word, I would just love to be an influencer. I would love that to be, my full-time thing with music and while also still working here because I love working here. But yeah, lots of social media stuff, gigging every weekend and then working at the school during the week, which I'm loving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think is next for you in the maybe next 5 years?
I would love to think that social media can be my full-time thing, being a full-time creative content creator, influencer sort of thing, filming my life. But I also want to just keep on writing music, releasing music. My biggest goal is to just create. I would love to just be, famous and have...
Creative.
Yes, have a platform where I can just talk and show my outfits and do all those things that I'm so passionate about, which is just lots of creative endeavors while also just influencing a large amount of people. I just want to be able to sit in front of my camera and talk and have a yarn and then also show my outfits and sing a song in front of my camera and keep on gigging. If I can make my whole life look like that and just be creative and influence a massive amount of people, then that's the ideal. I just moved back to Newcastle a year ago after being in Sydney for 3 years and I'm loving my life in Newcastle, really, really loving that. So hoping to just keep on going with that. But yeah, that's kind of the main thing is just keep on chipping away at my career with social media
onwards and
music.
upwards.
Exactly.
And any plans for new music, singles, albums?
Yes, hoping to release a single sometime in the next sort of 6 months. Yeah. So I would love to do an album as well, but singles do a lot better, so probably just a bunch of singles.
How many singles have you released?
I've only done one single and then an EP. So an EP is a small album. So I think I have 5 songs on the EP and then one single, I think.
How was the process of creating that, releasing that?
Really cool. It takes forever, but it's really, really rewarding. You do the whole thing of you record and then you have to get a band to record and then they have to edit it and then you go through lots of different mixes and is this right? What needs to be changed? Really minuscule things. And then you get a final mix and then you send it to a master person, send it to someone to master it. And then you work on the promotion of releasing it. And that normally goes for anywhere between 2 weeks to 4 weeks. And then you just sort of push it once it's out. You go to radio channels and you go to newspaper and social media and you just sort of promote as much as you can. And then if you want to, you can go and do a gig to promote and celebrate the release. So it takes forever, but it's really, really good. I'm actually working on my podcast at the moment, which has not long been released, which is really exciting. So you can stream that now if you please.
What's the name of it?
Be Good or Be Good at It.
Yeah.
Which is my little
life mottos?
Yeah, sort of, kind of.
What's the backstory behind choosing that for your name? It could be a million things, but why did you choose that one?
My dad uses it as a goodbye saying. He'll be all right, see ya, be good or be good at it. And it's just fun. It's either be a good person or be good at what you're doing. I love that. Or be both, ideally. But I just find it cheeky and it's just fun. I really like it.
Yeah.
So I just
it has a good ring to it as well.
Yeah, and I thought it I didn't want to pigeonhole too much with the title of my podcast because I want to talk about heaps on my podcast and I'm going to talk about heaps on my podcast and I just didn't want the name to be too pigeonholed.
Hey there, love podcasts? Got skills? We're building the dream team for the Grammar Grapevine and we want you. We're looking for producers to steer the ship, writers to shape the stories, hosts to bring the energy, tech gurus to keep us running, editors for audio and episodes, and content creators to grow our online buzz. Sound like your jam? Whether you're a pro or a beginner, there's a spot for you. Join us, gain skills, and have a blast. Inquire now through the daily notices. Let's make the Grammar Grapevine bigger and better together. And now onto one of my favourite little segments. We have some rapid fire questions. Favourite HVGS teacher?
Mr. Guinea.
Go-to treetop snack?
Cookie.
If you could live in any city in the world, where would it be?
New York City.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Roller coasters, love or hate?
Love.
Win the lottery or find your perfect job?
Win the lottery, create your perfect job.
Pizza with pineapple or without?
With.
Have a personal chef or personal chauffeur?
Chauffeur.
Wow.
That was great.
That was really good. That was our best one yet. So, now we're on to the deeper questions.
Oh.
What drives you to get up every day?
I think what drives me to get up every day is creating just a really beautiful life that I just can't wait to wake up to, and being able to just be excited about my job and excited about how I feel every day.
What's a secret you can share?
Oh, okay. Secret I can share. I probably share too often, so it's not really a secret. One of my first tattoos that I got, the tattoo artist messed it up and gave me a freckle in the middle of my stomach and didn't tell me.
Did you sue them?
No, it was funny. I've got a little black freckle in the middle of my stomach.
Wow, that's actually really good.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
What is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Biggest risk I've taken so far is probably not taking a conventional route with my job or uni. Like, I haven't gone to uni, I don't have a full-time job, and I am fully financially sufficient. Like, I support myself fully. Job.
But if you're being able to support yourself and you're loving
100%.
what you're doing,
Probably just not committing to something conventional.
what's a lesson you've learned the hard way?
That not being yourself is so much harder than being yourself.
That's actually really good
And
advice.
pretending,
Do you have a favourite family tradition?
Because our family's in hospitality, everything's to do with food, right?
Yeah.
I love just sitting down and having a full family dinner. That's probably a big tradition I love, is we sit at the dinner table every single night. Well, I don't live at home, but when I did live at home, we'd always sit down at the table. And anytime I go home and visit, we'd always sit down and have dinner together. I love that. And we just no phones, sit and chat. That's probably my favourite thing.
If you could have dinner with any fictional character,
Fictional? See, I thought you were going to say real. I would have said Adele.
would you say Adele's one of the inspirations for your career?
Absolutely. In terms of music, yes. Fictional character? Oh, Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana.
I love Hannah Montana.
You gotta do it.
What is your favourite thing to do on a rainy day?
Love journaling.
No, I really want to get into journaling.
I love just writing and listening to music, putting on some incense. Love some incense. Just journaling, listening to my music. Love that.
What's one thing that made you smile today?
Okay, I actually had such a nice interaction at the canteen today. Someone wanted to buy a lasagna and we only had one left, and one of the kids let the other student have it, which just warmed my heart a little bit because they were both young.
What do you want your legacy to be?
I would love my legacy to be inspiring other people to just follow what sets their soul on fire. I would love when people think about me when I'm gone or whatever as someone that just fully was authentically themselves and followed what made them happy, even though it was, unconventional or difficult, or that would be my legacy, is to inspire other people to do what they really want to do and follow their dreams, be themselves.
And in terms of your music and social media careers and journey, how can people support you?
You can find me on social media at Isabella McGavin, or you can find me on Spotify, Apple Music as Belle, Belle, and my podcast, Be Good or Be Good at It, on all streaming platforms.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great chatting to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. To make sure you don't miss out, hit follow or subscribe on your favourite podcast player and follow us on Instagram at The Grammar Grapevine. Leave us a review and give us 5 stars. Catch new guests every Monday. See you next week.